Buffalo Bills in Primm, Nevada, right on the California-Nevada state line. Big crowd has come out to this 6,000-seat arena here. And the reason is because of one of the most exciting fighters in the game, making his way up and trying to bounce back from his first career loss. Alfredo Angulo trying to get back to his impressive knockout ways, which made him a rising star. Takes on the upset-minded Gabriel Rosado in our main event. Well, this doesn't happen every day, Teddy.
I hope they walked him earlier.
El Perro, the dog.
That's all I'm thinking about.
And his mascot right in the ring on the ring walk.
Well, hopefully his mascot walked him before they brought him up into the ring. And
he looks like he's ready to fight.
Well, the good news for Rosado, of course, is that the dog cannot fight.
Gabriel Rosado is a Philly fighter through and through, 23 years old. Taller man at 6 foot tall, 12-3 mark with 7 knockouts. He turned pro at 19 years old with loads of confidence and athletic ability, and earlier in his career he gained valuable experience sparring with Bernard Hopkins and his work training camp for Sugar Shane Mosley. He got our attention in June 2008. He was facing 15-0 house fighter James Moore, and Rosado was able to stay with Moore in the early going, and then in the 5th he got to him scoring a knockdown. He would win a unanimous decision, and that really jump-started his career. So after topping Moore, he earned a shot against prize prospect Fernando Guerrero, traded knockdowns, but Rosado's upset bid would fall short. In his most recent fight, he did score an upset. He was able to get a split decision over former titleist Kasim the Dream Uma, and he feels this fight will be something special.
I think he's just the classic Mexican fighter. You know, he's tough. He's gonna keep coming forward. He don't care to get hit. I mean, he'll take 3 to land one. You know, I know he's not a quitter. The key of this fight is Angulo has one style. I'm versatile. I could get down and dirty, or I could go back to my boxing. So I could switch it up. I have options in the fight. Angulo is just coming.
And that's exactly why he has become a fan favorite. Alfredo Angulo, dog in hand. Now 26 years old he is. He is originally from Mexicali, but he's been living and training in Los Angeles, a wrecking ball finisher at 154 pounds. He's 15-1, 12 knockouts. The bioblast on Angulo. His father died when he was just 5 years old. He grew up in Mexico with 5 siblings, excelled in the ring, was an 04 Olympian for Team Mexico. First on the scene in 08, 11 straight knockouts is the streak, and including among them was a thriller here in Primm over Richard Gutierrez. He would take that win, move forward against the hard-hitting, rugged Russian Andrei Serkan, battered him from the beginning of that fight. They would throw in the towel in the 10th. In his past winter, he overcame a cut above his right eye and pressed on and punished Cosme Rivera. He was 15-0. Then came May 30th, a date with Kermit Cintrone. And Alfredo came forward his typical style, but the veteran, more experienced Cintrone, able to box well, earned many of the middle rounds. Kermit would continue to keep the Mexican off balance. There was a late rally by Angulo, but all 3 scorecards went Cintrone's way. Tonight he says he's set to deliver.
Well, the fans will get what they come to see, a fight, a great fight. That's what they want, and that's what they're going to see.
And that's why they've come out in droves here to Buffalo Bills, where there's all kinds of entertainment beyond boxing, even for legendary boxing trainers who are kids at heart. The Fight Plan is sponsored by AutoZone.
Rosado's in for the toughest fight of his life against Angulo. But if he can find a way to stay afloat, maybe land a couple right hands, just maybe he'll be the one making the big splash at the end. Speaking of splashes, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you gonna block that water?
Oh, yes, I will.
Try to keep me dry?
Yes.
Let's go. All right.
Oh, here we go, Teddy. Ready?
Okay, we survived that. A couple of raincoats would not have been a bad idea, but now let's find out whether or not Rosado can survive the attack of Angulo. I'll be Angulo. You're going to be the guy that might get wet. Rosado. Now, Rosado's all right hand. If he's going to win this, he's going to land that. So not a bad idea for Angulo to move away from the right hand a little bit. Also, he's a more physical guy, Angulo. Get inside, nothing fancy. When he sees Rosado come up, bang to the body, right up to the head. If Angulo can do that, well, he'll be the one driving the ride. He'll be the one winning. All right, now, how does Rosado make sure he doesn't get thrown from the ride or thrown for a loop? First of all, Rosado, we said it, he's all right hand. Notice that Angulo's the stronger guy. Rosado's going to want to be on the outside boxing, giving angles a little bit, keeping him off balance a little bit. I noticed that Angulo gets hit with right hand. Why? He's a little slow with that left hand covered, and he lays his head over on his right side. So if you're Rosado, you're moving a little bit. As soon as you see that, bang, stop and punch with the right hand. If you do that, and you're Rosado, well, you're going to be riding to a nice victory. Maybe even a little screaming. You're going to be happy.
What an upset that would be, and what a reception for Alfredo Angulo. Top 10 ranked junior middleweight. Coming off the first loss in his career.
Let's go, Chief Second.
Russell Mora is the referee. Rosado and Angulo are scheduled for 10.
I want to remind you, I expect a clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. God bless. Touch up.
You know, Joe, this was probably the first time a referee ever had to give the orders for all people out of the ring and dogs out of the ring. So.
All canines must be out. The Tecate ring experience.
Let's go. Seconds up.
Comparable numbers between these two. Round number one.
Angulo does have a habit of bouncing in front. We're going to see it right away. Take a look at it, fans at home. You see it already. When there's a little separation, he'll bounce. There he goes again, Joe. He'll bounce up and down. Angulo will. Now, Rosado's an underdog for a reason. But there are upsets in this sport and other sports for reasons. The underdog is opportunistic. The underdog takes advantage of everything given him on that night that he pulls off the upset.
How can he take advantage of that?
As soon as he sees that bouncing, that's where Rosado must be aggressive. Because when the bouncing is taking place, Angulo's not set. He's not dangerous. He's not ready to punch. And he's really not ready to get away from a punch. So that's when you can come in with all bravado, with all confidence, and take advantage of those spots. And again, if you're going to pull off an upset,